Hi everyone, it's Nicole McWork for the Pretty Pink Posh October release blog hop, and I've got a couple of projects to share today using the new Pretty Pink Posh dies. The first is this holiday card that I used the new Stitched Borders 2 dies. I used 2 of the dies from this die collection. There's actually 3. I chose the straight line, which has a great stitched detail, of course, and I'm using a scrap of white cardstock that is 5.5 inches long, and I simply die cut the edge of that so it has that great stitched detail. And then I've die cut some white cardstock using the scalloped stitched border, and I didn't show, but I also die cut that same scalloped stitched border from some vellum. Now, before I set my die cutting machine aside, I am going to go ahead and use the Cozy Christmas dies from Ellen, the Essentials by Ellen die collection. This is from their brand new exclusive release. And I'm die cutting the trees and the houses from some Simon Says Stamp cardstock. I chose to go kind of a more traditional route with the colors for this card. So the trees are green, and then for the little houses, I chose to use some shades of gray and then a great red. Now the white that I die cut using the Pretty Pink Posh dies is going to be used to create my landscape. So I have this background here that is some surf blue cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm layering the scalloped stitched design dies to create what I was hoping would look kind of like a snowy mountain landscape in the back of the card. And then I'll put together the scene on the front of that. I popped it up with a little foam adhesive, and I've stamped my greeting using an Ellen Hudson stamp set, or the Essentials by Ellen stamp set, to coordinate with the scene that I'm creating. I just stamped that with some nice black dye ink from Simon Says Stamp. And I'm creating my scene by gluing all of these little pieces down along that stitched border created with the Pretty Pink Posh Stitched Borders 2 die. This is a great versatile die. You can do so many things with it. I think it would be great to die cut the front edge of your card shorter than the inside, so it'll have that nice detailing, maybe has a peak of something on the inside of the card or whatever, and any of the borders would look great doing that sort of design. So there's lots of things you can do besides create a landscape with these dies. I was just trying to think out of the box a little bit on what to do with that great scallop. It would make fabulous clouds as well, but as I was creating this snowy scene, I really wanted it to look like there was mountains in the background. Now, I did die cut a few additional elements using that Cozy Christmas die set from the Essentials by Ellen, and I'm gluing the little heart there right below my greeting. That adds a pop of color along the bottom of a very white area on the card, a lot of white space. I'm taking the Wink of Stella clear glitter pen and adding some glitter to all of my houses. This is kind of my base layer before I add some snowy accents. So the card looks great as it is. This would definitely be more of the clean and simple route before I start adding any of those additional little pieces, or elements, I guess I should say. But I really wanted the houses to look like they were in a snowy scene. So my first step was to add that little bit of glitter to all the houses with the Wink of Stella clear pen. I also added that to all of the trees. I did the houses and I decided the trees needed it as well. So very quick and easy to do it like this. I just kind of lay the brush tip of the marker down and move it back and forth over the entire die cut. I don't have to get it on every little piece, but I just want it to have that overall look of subtle glitter. Next, I'm going to take some glossy accents and add a little bit of glue to the tips of all of these trees and maybe to some of the edges. I don't want them to all be exactly uniform. So I'll add just a tiny bit of glue here and there. And then I want to give these trees the look of snow sitting on the tops. I've had this Martha Stewart snow glitter forever, and it's a very thick, kind of chunky glitter. as the name indicates, since it's a snow glitter, and it has a lot of texture to it. So I'm going to sprinkle that on the tops of all of my trees. Once I have that, I decided the tops of the houses needed a little bit of snow as well. However, I didn't want these trees to or the houses, I mean, to have, I wanted there to be a little bit of variation, I guess is what I want to say. So I'm using Tim Holtz's Rock Candy Glitter to add a little bit of snow detail to the top of the trees. And I really like how there is some chunky snow and then more fine snow. It definitely doesn't make the design too heavy with the glitter, I think. So it has some really nice variation. I'll set that aside to dry for a little bit, and I will finish my card with a couple more heart die cuts from the Cozy Christmas Essentials by Ellen dies, and some Pretty Pink Posh sequins in my favorite sparkling clear. I love the sparkling clear. I use them all the time. I'm using both the 4mm and 6mm, and using some of the Zotz Bling glue dots to adhere them to my card. I love the glue dots because they're no muss, no fuss. And then my card is finished. My next project is these fun Santa tags using the Stitched Tags die collection from Pretty Pink Posh. I have been creating some holiday themed tags over the last few weeks with the hopes that by the time the holiday season gets here, I will have a great stash of tags ready to tie to packages. I'm using both the square tag design and then the little bit longer rectangle, skinny rectangle from the Stitched Tags Pretty Pink Posh dies here. The oval I'm going to save for another project. I will be using it a little bit later this month. Once I have a set of 3 tags, I am going to mask off a couple of sides on these tags so that I can stamp the Santa from the 'Tis the Season Essentials by Ellen stamp set coming off the side of the tags. I really think the Santa is super cute with his little sunglasses there, but I didn't want to stamp him right in the center of the tag. I wanted to ground him by having him come off the side. However, I didn't want that stitching to go through the center of my image. So I always like to mask off from the stitched die cut line to the edge of the tag. And then I will position Santa and stamp him right on my tag like that. I love those sunglasses. I think he looks so cool and fun. I will repeat this for both of my other tags, even the short square one. I'll show you how I did that as well. I'm using the fun little greetings from the 'Tis the Season stamp set. This one says "He knows." I think that's really fun and clever. Each of them will have a different greeting. There were so many fun little greetings in the 'Tis the Season Essentials by Ellen stamp set that I wanted to use as many as possible. Again, I will stamp Santa coming in off of the side. And for this one, I'm going to stamp the greeting, "Saw that, Santa." I love that. I think that's fun. And then for my last tag, I will again mask it off, and I will stamp it a little bit differently. I decided after I got started I was going to stamp him coming off of the other corner. So I'll just move my masking tape a little bit and have him come in off of the right corner. Remove those, and I'm going to stamp a different greeting. The "Oh Snap," it will slightly overlap the Santa's beard, but in this instance it's okay. I just didn't want the stitching to go through the center of my design. So once I have all of my stamping done, I use Memento Tuxedo black ink because I am going to color these all in with Copic markers. I'll speed through this part of it. I did really simple coloring, only about 2 colors or 2 shades per color. Did very simple blending. I did go back a little bit and darken his skin a little bit later. Used the R27 and R39 for his hat. You could definitely go a little bit more in depth with your coloring if you wanted to, but these are tags that are going to be on packages, and so I stuck to pretty simple coloring. I did add some little touches of warm grays to both the beard and mustache and the whites on his hat, and blended them out with the W00, the warm gray 00, to soften any of those harsh lines. But I didn't go too much with the coloring on those either. I just wanted the illusion of a little bit of shadowing and color on the white. And I took a little bit of the BG10, the Cool Shadow, to outline very simply to kind of help pop him off of the background. I die cut the same tags out of some lipstick red Simon Says stamp cardstock and stamped the naughty and nice little check boxes on the back of each of those, and then the to and from could go right there as well. Then I glued those to the back of the white tags. This helps hide any of the coloring that bleeds through to the back. And then I added little X marks there so that I knew right where I wanted to punch holes in the top of my tags, and I added some red twine from Pretty Pink Posh. I'm going to add some little red dots to the sunglasses before I finish those off with some glossy accents. Now, I applied my glossy accents first to these sunglasses, and once it was completely dry, I went back in with my white Sakura gel pen and added those kind of lens flare type marks to the top of each of my glasses. I took the Wink of Stella clear glitter pen to the little ball on his hat and the brim. And then I set that aside to dry like I said, and then I added those little white marks to his glasses. So I have 3 more tags in my stash ready for this holiday season. Thanks for watching this video showcasing the Stitched Borders 2 dies as well as the Stitched Tags dies from Pretty Pink Posh. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. Please subscribe for weekly videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.